It's the third day that I haven't been home to water my garden, but today, folks, the family took some initiative, and, well, in fact, they have to claim it. I have to admit it. I've been told for a long time, he's got a big smile on his face now, that the way I'm watering is not going to work by hand, that is with a soft spray. He goes, "You got to change your methods, mate." I'll show you the line he shared with me. For those who are trying to work out what I'm talking about, is watering my garden and me complaining how quickly it dehydrates in the garden. And I'll go through the details of that shortly, but the line that really, well, got me laughing a little bit. I don't think I shared it to laugh with him, but didn't want him to get a big head. "Stop it, sweetheart." He's saying, "Look at that, the student's the teacher and the teacher's the student. How do you like that?" And that's fair, because I'm the first one to claim that, you know, you never stop learning, and it doesn't matter what age or demographic background you come from, folks. And it's all about the microclimate. That's what it is. And it's not just the microclimate within your garden, folks. Oh, geez, he wants to claim it so soon. He's dying for me to show it. This is it. It's an old one, folks. This is a really old Pope. Well, it's a lawn irrigation sprinkler, oscillating. Well, is it oscillating? It just goes back and forth, yeah. It oscillates, and you can control the levers on it. So there's not a plug for the company, but at the end of the day, they exist out there, and they're fantastic, and they work. And this is what we've used. We actually use this with the irrigation tractor and all that out for the lawns, but we've stopped doing that because we realised it's just a waste of time and money. If it's going to dehydrate, it's going to dehydrate, but not so a waste of time for the veggie garden. And why I say that is because we know that, but it's been brought to my attention and I've had to pay attention, is that I water the garden all the time, and I come home in the afternoon, and even the days when the family water it, I find it dehydrated, even after I've given a really deep soak. So another thing that I didn't factor in the whole sort of research and trial and errors that I'm doing is the surrounding areas of the garden. The lawn areas. I don't water the lawn here. You can see it's gone the wheat colour of wheat, but it's starting to go green again all of a sudden, and I'll explain why. And that's because he was claiming that I should be doing this. Well, not just this, just get a proper impact sprinkler around the edges. Yeah, I know some of you have said it too, and it's just me saying, oh, that's more work. But think about this, it takes me an hour to 2 hours to water the garden, and within that time frame I could have at least half of that irrigation installed, and then the other half the next time I need to water. Then all of a sudden I don't need to do it. Now what happened here is no one was home today, so I was doing my work outside. The whole family were off the property. My son's busy, he's got his own business running and all that, apart from holding this little toy camera that he's bought. He said he hasn't got the time to come outside and water. He goes, "I'm going to use this." I said, "All right, well, I wish you luck, because if I find anything dead, you're dead." Right? Well, in fact, when I got back here with this little unit, with all the raised beds that I've got, the netting over the top and frameworks and everything, it basically got into every square inch of the garden beds and the lawn. And what I did find is the microclimate, because I haven't watered the lawn here for such a long time and it hasn't rained. When I did come in here and feeling the ground moist, everything was much cooler and the beds are much more hydrated, at a hydrated state than they are otherwise when I don't water the lawn. So we're going to have a lot of weeds growing in our lawn, and our lawn's going to be growing so fast now because that's what we're going to be doing. So my son's great idea has caused him now to have to allocate at least an hour a week to mow the lawns in the veggie garden. Thanks, mate. You up for it? You'd rather that than hold the hose, I know, that's it. Me the same. So if you've got more important things to do, guys, get your irrigation organised. So this is the first bed that you watered, yeah. So this got a water in the morning, probably 9:30, 10 o'clock, maybe earlier. No, later, I'm gonna kill you. All right, so got what water, 3 o'clock, just before I got home? 11, okay. All right, so 11 o'clock, even so, 11 o'clock, and I've watered around that time. Coming out here, now it's late afternoon, folks. I haven't watered this afternoon at all. Just don't mind this coriander. This is the ground. This is a bed that's just notoriously dry, right? Dries out completely. Look at this. This is late afternoon. Moisture everywhere. Plenty of moisture. So that's the irrigation overhead sprinklers. And the reason it's holding it is, well, for multiple reasons. One is that it's getting the same amount of water as it would by hand, because you'd sit here and put at least 50 to 100 litres in it. But rather than getting it all in one time and concentrating or maybe revisiting it twice with a soft spray, which is important to do as well, it gets it a little bit at a time because it oscillates from the left to the right, and it takes about 10, 15, 20 seconds before it comes back to this bed. So the initial little dribble that it gets, it takes its time to soak in, and by the time that gets down, the next layer comes over the top, and so on. It soaks right through, so it's a slow drip. So by using impact sprinklers, or pop-up sprays if you like as well, but they'd be constantly spraying in the same spot. I reckon the pop-up sprayers maybe not as good. The micro sprays probably. Just the only problem with those is with the high winds. On a windy day, most of the spray will blow away, but that's okay. Residing grass and weeds, you'll water them as well, and they'll grow nice and green. So the oscillating spray is the best way, I think, or impact sprinklers will be great. I've got the drip system in here, and I haven't finished installing it because some of the fittings we got have been bursting. So it's an inferior quality. So I've got to upgrade all that and get the right clamps and all that stuff so we don't have that problem and get the pressure points going. So other than that, if you're sick and tired of holding the hose in a garden, well, maybe alternate from one application by hand, the other one by a spray like I just suggested there. There's many different sizes and shapes and ways they spray so they can suit your backyard. And like I said earlier, with all the different shapes and sizes, and it was always in the back of my mind thinking, how's it going to possibly get into all those spaces behind the timber frames and walls? Well, what happens is the water is, the ground and the mulch is like a sponge, and as it absorbs slowly, it releases moisture at the same time. It doesn't just run past it with a heavy spray with a watering wand or high pressure hose. Yeah, a lot of things to think about there when it comes to irrigation. It's not just one of those walk along and lightly dribble over the top. You need that sort of repeat spray over the top and constantly soaking in slowly, and that's the way you get a deep hydration. Now, it's time to feed the garden, and a liquid feed and a top dress. Don't forget to do that as well, folks. I reckon once a month now, that's what I'm doing, and I'm finding it to be really good. Slowly feeding the garden and start using that and stay inside and do something else, or maybe build another raised bed while it's watering the garden. Yeah, more gardens to look after. Check out our website, vasilisgarden.com. Great specials on every day of the week. From me, Vasily, Maresi. My son wants to claim it all, folks. He does, all right?